Hello guys and welcome back. So another standard deck tech here. Tarkir Dragonstorm offers us a new tool to somewhat abuse. It's quite very obvious now if you're following the standard metagame. We have now the Core Steel Cutter as one of the breakout card from this new set that has somewhat upgraded this archetype that I will present to you today. So Core Steel Cutter again is a 2-mana artifact equipment that equip creature gets +1 as trample and haste, though it has a flurry effect that whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you will create a 1/1 white creature token with prowess, and you may attach this equipment to it. And what would probably this deck would refer to is of course the Izzet or the blue-red combination of colors, so card draws effects, burn spells, counter spells, and the like. But this deck tech we're going to show is like somewhat maybe my take or a variance of it, because I'm looking to have another route as to not only going with prowessing or casting spells with monstrous rage and such. So I call this deck the Izzet token prowess. We have 4 artifacts, 10 creatures, 10 enchantments, 12 instants, 5 sorceries, and 19 lands. So we're going to see for how these cards would creature distribution would look like, as well as the spells. So aside from the Core Steel Cutter, which also act like a spell and also token producer per se, are your copies of third plus Iconoclast. So this creature, whenever I cast a non-creature spell, you will create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. So in a way that creating this free token is that you kind of combining them effects. Let's say we have a Balmor in play, you cast a spell, you get those tokens +1/+0 and gains trample, and more so if we have these other cards that I will going to present in a bit. So aside from this one, which also kind of a prowess effect, is having also Monastery Swift Spear as your 1-drop. So basically you can just curve out early on, casting this Swift Spear into Iconoclast, and then a flurry of spells, or maybe a card effect and a Core Steel Cutter to generate this board lineup. And now for the enchantments, which I might have been referring to as, are your copies of Impact Tremors. So first off, the Impact Tremors goes, it enters the battlefield, the creature under your control, it deals damage to its opponents. So that's a free damage effect, wherein if you have this in play and you have a third party blast, more of your creature board lineup would add into play and also trigger Impact Tremors. And remember, this is also a non-creature spell, so basically this would also generate your Iconoclast soldier artifact soldier token. So more so with this, I've also considered Frostcliff Privilege. So this Frostcliff Siege is a 3-mana enchantment from Tarkir Dragonstorm. It does its ability of Jeskai or Timur, but most likely you will go with Timur because it's ability that gets your creatures +1/+0, trample, and haste. So basically, generating these tokens would not need you wait for a turn to attack, and making it more efficient and more deadly because of the +1/+0 and trampling and trample over your opponent's creatures. And where so with this, you can just generate creatures with siege in play. For each spell you cast, you generate these tokens. You get also to have them +1/+0 in haste and basically attack. And more so if you have Balmor in play, 2 of these cards will trigger and can basically get you more of these +1 effects and deal huge chance of damage. So in support of these creatures, of course, we have also considered some Chaser's Talent, basically a good 1-drop, a semi 1-mana creature, because it's instead of a monk token, we have a blue-red altar creature token with prowess, wherein this creature would now get you to pump and for each turn creature spell, and later on you can have this ability to return any instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And that, we check on the spells. We have 4 copies of Burst Lightning. This is basically going with a 1-mana cost that can later on be kicker for 4 mana. For 5 mana you can kicker this and then get 4 damage. We have considered again Monstrous Rage, the best uncommon red for the current standard, to get your relevant creature +2/+0, trigger prowess, and also get them to trample over your opponent creature or use creature blocker. We have also Up, because it is a 1 mana scry 1, draw a card instant. And I've considered a copy of Slick Sequence, which is only 1 copy, but it also gets you to benefit that if you have cast another turns or another spell this turn, you'll draw a card, and it will also work as a spot removal or damage to your opponent's life total. And before we go for the lands, we have, of course, our gas sorcery kit spells. We have 3 stack up. That's the blue card now, and also considering Sleight of Hand, which is 2 copies in the deck, but also goes with the 1 mana curve, which, for example, you can have turn 2 Iconoclast, turn 3 Core Steel Clutter, and then Sleight of Hand to generate tokens and also generate the 1/1 mock to attack. So basically, that's very good way for you to do some interactions with this deck. And lastly, for lands, we've considered an 10 because we have a lot of 1 mana card effects, which makes sure that we can function by any land. Just basically 2 lands or 3 lands, and we are good to go with this kind of deck. And of course, aside from the Reef and the Serpent Bluff and the Burge, we have considered 2 copy of Aspire, which is also having you to get a manland. So this manland goes with a 2/1, becomes a 2/1 elemental as long as it's your turn. This has first strike, and whenever it attacks, you will scry 1, which basically fixes up your card draw effect for an added value. And we check on the deck stats. The colors are pretty much even with blue and red, and the mana cost is basically 1.68. That is their average mana cost, where 20 1 mana spells, 14 2 mana, and only 7 3 mana for this deck, which can basically live up for its prowess theme. And later on, if you're going to go with the sideboard, you can still be able to utilize some good cards from these 2 colors value against the certain top tier metagame matchups. And last but not the least, we check on the tokens. We have 4 tokens: the Monk token from the Steel Cutter, Monster token from the Monstrous Rage, Altar from, of course, the Storm Chaser's Talent, and Soldier token generated by the Iconoclast. So overall, this is like another version which would really, I think, would be a fun way to try out instead of you go with the usual Izzet Prowess deck. This can be quite not that fast enough maybe as compared for the original Prowess deck with the slick shot show off and stuff, but I think this can really hit pretty well once you get to set up your creatures. You get your Iconoclasts online with front Frost Clip Siege and basically attacking for huge chunks of damage, and even do some final damage with Impact Tremors, or just plainly burst lightning to your opponent's life total. So again, guys, this is your deck tech for Izzet Token Prowess for Tarkir Dragonstorm Sandlord. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We'll still have more of this as we observe some interesting deck list from the recent tournament results online and on local tournaments done. And see you guys on the next video.